Alright y'all, I am the map maker, and this is a quick little video on just how I do coastlines. A lot of people have asked me for this. It's very simple, it's a very quick 5-step process in terms of like getting it all finished. So I would say step 1 is making these like kind of general shapes. These don't have to be super detail intensive, just the general shape of how you want a coastline to look. See, it's not that hard. And the key asterisk I'll put on this entire process is if you don't like how it looks, erase it and just redraw it. Eventually you'll get it right. Like, I don't show it on my big maps, but there's multiple cases where it's just, I've erased it so many times, the paper's been messed up. I don't really care, I can repair the paper, but I want that perfect look. At least it's perfect in my mind. So we get these kind of rough lines. So step 2 is gonna be to add like, this is like a general shape. I'm gonna erase it through and through. And then now I'm gonna add some like, now that I know what the general shape is, I can add like even more detail. This is kind of just about letting like hand shake a bit. Just go a little off the line. It's gonna look odd. And this is not the final step, so this is nowhere near finished. So yeah, it looks a bit jagged. So this step 3 is to erase some of these little bits to make it smooth, and then kind of like keep some bits, basically just kind of like leveling out between this like more erratic and less erratic look. The reason you do like the full, like kind of like wobbly for step 2 is just kind of see what it would look like. Sometimes it can look really good. So you get like some of it down, and some of it, you might even want to exacerbate it too. Some of the most interesting things on maps are when you do peninsulas. A lot of peninsulas have had power or have been like cool like interactions between the ocean, because they kind of like force them to expand outwards in that way. So that can give you some cool little ideas. So step 4, by far the most helpful, is adding islands. Adding tiny islands that like nobody will be on. There's a difference if you're adding like a New Zealand or a Madagascar or a Sri Lanka, like a big island where a bunch of people live. But adding like tiny little islands, like barrier islands, is really good for some parts of the map. You don't need to add them everywhere, just occasionally little bits. And they kind of like look stringy. They're like really thin. They just kind of, you know, line the coast. But then you can also add more faraway islands too, because all of this is just trying to make it seem more like Earth. So the key part you can also do is like just look up things like coastlines on like Google Earth or Google Maps, and where you like it, just take influence from that, mishmash different pieces of the coast together. So look, it got a nicer coast, got some more interesting features. And then the next part would be, the final step would just be like adding like map making aesthetic details. So there's multiple different like ways you can do that. So you could like do a Tolkien and draw a bunch of lines around the coast, have them emanate outwards. Or you could, like, I like to check the map making subreddit. It's not mine, it's just like just the overall map making subreddit, and it they have so many good people on there for advice on this. But like simple styles are usually pretty good. Overall, if you just kind of like see something you like and you just like snatch it up a little bit, or take inspiration from it, you know, don't plagiarize people. I like to make the lines get farther and farther apart. I need to actually do these little tiny islands too. I like to have them get farther and farther apart as you go through them. It's kind of what Tolkien did. But it doesn't have to be like what Tolkien did, you know, you kind of just doing your own thing too. And now you have this kind of like, this coastline that feels more real. It feels interesting. It's got these interesting little shapes, and really the one thing that I think that makes my map special is that I name almost everywhere, like individual plains, mountain ranges, small hills, and forests. The whole point is that, like, if it has a name, that means someone found it and made it interesting. So like you can go like the Bay of Borgoth, and then like once you add all these different names, then it really makes it even more interesting. Probably for coastlines, I'll list off, it's like you have bays, gulfs, straits. There's a lot. Archipelago for the different islands. Hopefully I don't misspell it. Ooh, might have. But the whole idea is you just kind of like give all these names, so it feels more intricate, it feels more explored, and it feels more real. Anyways, that's kind of like my little tip session for how to draw better coastlines. If you guys have any tips you want to share with other people, put them in the comments. I know this is kind of like a small little fast video. I'm just trying to get to post more. Alright guys, if you like this type of content, I'll do some more tutorials in the future. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Bye!